The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and not necessarily those of WKTV Community Media.
Hello, West Michigan. This is Grand Tap Media Business TV. My name is Pamela Keim, your host. The spirit of the show is to introduce West Michigan to all the businesses, nonprofits, individuals that can help us thrive in our lives and business. We have a very special guest for you today. I have interviewed him in the past, but he has a new position. I met him through YMCA, and he was so gracious to put me on the board, and I love that mission. But the last year, he decided to try something new because he has been with the YMCA almost 19 years. So today, our guest today is Kevin Myers. He is part of United Way, and we are going to learn about the mission. Most of us grew up watching commercials on United Way, NFL commercials on United Way, and we saw signs on United Way, the Day of Caring. There was all kinds of things on United Way, and he's going to be here to share, once again, that mission, how we can get involved. If you have an organization, we can bring them in, and they can tell you all about the wonderful giving they give to our nonprofits in West Michigan. So I want to welcome Kevin Myers to the show.
Well, thank you, Pamela. I appreciate it.
All right. Like I said, we are excited to have you here because you are wearing a different hat now. Sure. And I realized when you left the YMCA, which you were there for 19 years, I knew you for almost, what, 7?
Yeah,
7,
probably.
8?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a little while.
And I brought a lot of people I could to the mission of the YMCA, but I am excited to share United Way today because it's been around. Maybe you'll tell me even some of the history and why it was developed and where you are and what you're going to be doing in the community in the I guess months to come.
Absolutely, yeah. No, thank you so much. That's a welcoming introduction there as well too.
I hope you like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So what is your title, to be sure? Because you switched to something.
Yeah, no, I'm the Vice President of Development for United Way here, the heart of West Michigan United Way. So,
okay.
Yeah, United Way's been around here in Kent County for over, we're at year 105 now. So,
yes.
But United Way's been around, obviously a little bit longer than that as an organization across the country and across the world now as well. It really came together because so many businesses had so many nonprofits coming to them asking them, hey, can you donate towards this, donate towards this? And I think it was Henry Ford who had actually said, I want one person to come talk to us at one time, and that's
I can see him doing that,
I don't want everybody coming at once. So that's where United Way was. It was basically to help support all the nonprofits in the community and making sure that their development and their essential needs in the community are being hit as well too, and getting support that they need. So it was a great start, and I loved hearing that story when I was kind of learning a little bit about United Way.
Well, it's been in our, like I said, all of us, maybe dating myself, maybe younger generation, maybe not have been introduced to the, United Way, because there are so many wonderful nonprofits that that have been created in West Michigan and even the world to help fix problems. That's basically what they do, is they're fixing problems. Yep. But okay, so share a little bit more about, what do they do? If I was to ask you, and we were at a networking event, and you said United Way, I'm like, okay, I might be 21 years old or 25, right?
Yep.
Under 30. What is that? And what do you mean our employer can do this, right?
Yep, a lot of people know of United Way through their employers because they have a campaign going on, but there's so many that, a different experience may be there for them as well too. And United Way, really, we convene so much of the community nonprofits together. We help them work together, we help them find the solutions because, there's critical needs through Kent County, especially that right now, housing is a challenge.
Oh my gosh,
finding a place to stay, knowing that housing costs are going up so much that it's kind of pushing out so many people at the bottom who usually have a lower cost. A $500 apartment may now cost $900. So there's so much challenges there in making sure that people have housing. That also goes in the compression for food as well too, making sure that there's food available as well too, and making sure that people are dealing with their financial security as well too. So there's opportunities to work. There's plenty of opportunities to work as well too, but also helping people get job training so they can find the work that fits their skill set as well too. So United Way helps in all of those areas. We support all of those types of programs, and we try to make a difference.
Well, that is true, and they've been part of. So talk about right now the housing issue.
Yeah.
I mean, do they see you guys, being involved? And one thing about United Way, they have so much, right? Because you guys do so much on making sure that the money that you give to these nonprofits are doing a good job and utilizing it the way they promised to. Because we all did a grant. We'll go to United Way and see. But share a little bit what's going on with the housing and what do you guys see? Is there going to be availability for low-income home? Because I had a starter home for $22,000 when I first got married.
Yep, absolutely.
And I can't even imagine some of these homes that are so expensive. Where's
that same house is probably going for $200,000 right now, and that's the thing. That is the challenge that's out there as well too. Is so much is adjusted in that space, and really trying to make sure that it's not just the individuals. Obviously, we know there's a challenge with the homeless population, people who are out on the streets. There's also people that are in that spot where they may be losing their house because of a job loss or a medical challenge that they're not able to pay their bills. So what United Way does is we really try to work with organizations who are supporting those individuals to find how can we get stable housing for these individuals, and it may be an adjustment, moving into a different area as well too, a more of affordable place. But also we know that with our builders as well too, there's not enough materials going, so there's so much of a challenge that's happening. The more people that are getting involved are helping find those solutions so that we can move forward with this as well too. But
is United Way dealing with when they want feedback on what's going on? I mean, are you on like state panels, or what do you guys do? So what I was asking is that are you dealing with the state level legislation saying, what, we need to have some housing? Because I couldn't even imagine, how are you going to move people out of apartments when they're ready to a low, I guess just a middle home, right? To start out, starter homes, as we used to call them.
Once again, it's trying to find the right solutions for the right situations for families more than anything, and working with those programs across the community of how they can actually do that. So we work with the Kent County Essential Needs Task Force. So in that area, that group helps identify what are the biggest challenges out there. We also have representatives at the state level that can help. We try to influence and try to help support in that space so that the community, they can truly understand the challenges that are there. So it's definitely a space where we want to advocate for our community and make sure that people have a true understanding of what's happening, and we're seeing it every day. We're seeing improvements in some areas, and we're going backwards in a lot of areas as well too. So,
we are?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean, what do you guys see? Because I'm not on the ground like you guys are. I'm not having people walk through my door. I mean, what are some of the things that we could improve on in our community that you're seeing?
Yeah, honestly, I think some of the drives that we are doing now, we just got done with a drive that supported 8 different nonprofits, and we came into this asking them, what are the needs? What can we do to help support you? Because we're looking at cleaning items, just household basics to take pressure off of families so that, if their bills can be a little bit less on groceries, or if they're, deodorant, laundry soap, all of that stuff, if we can take some of that pressure off. So we just finished up a drive for these 8 nonprofits, and our goal was to raise about 12,000 items. So actually have all of those things donated to us so we could give back to those organizations.
So these dropped off items?
Dropped off items. Some of them bought items online, so then we could get them shipped to us. And we actually had over 15,000 items. So once again, that shows West Michigan steps up to the plate every time we need them. So it's just great.
Now, let's share a little bit. You said you're development, right?
Yeah.
So what is that? What's a daily life of Kevin Myers? Right? You're what?
Sure.
You have an office?
Yep.
You're not working from home, are you?
No, not as much. Mostly in the office. We're definitely in a space where it's great because a lot of our team members are coming back to the office now as well. And the development side, it changes every day. It depends what's in front of us. Some days we may have presentations to other businesses to share a little bit about what we're doing at United Way. Other days we might be digging into how we can, still achieve our goals financially to make sure that, as we mentioned, some of our areas where people are giving, we're starting to see a decline because businesses are struggling, so they're not able to give as much. So how can we plan for how we can also continue to still help support these nonprofits, knowing that some of those dollars are still coming in a little bit less?
So, okay, so let's talk about, I used to see a lot more United Way signs.
Sure.
Back in the day. I don't know if I was just more aware of them because I was in the nonprofit world.
Yep.
And that you used to give to our organization. But is that a day of caring? Let's talk about that. That's a big day. It used to be in September. Is it still?
You're right. September is Day of Caring, and
Can you share a little bit? A Day of Caring for all you that don't know. It was a big day, and then I guess let me see if I've got this right. Businesses that donated to the YMCA, we were able to go there and share the mission of our nonprofit.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? And these are the funds these are some of the United Way gives to these organizations.
Yep, we're able to highlight obviously the nonprofits and make sure that, you know, as businesses come and actually support those nonprofits, whether it's a cleanup of their space or if it's helping them, you know, organize shelves, park cleanups, all of those different things that are projects. And then those nonprofits can obviously share exactly all the great work that they're doing. Once again, we try to bring them together so people can understand the impact that they're having right in their own backyard and really understand the needs that are still out there.
Well, how does is it still, I'm trying to think, when I used to deal with the United Way all the time, that you're the person that oversaw the United Way, what is a Heart of Michigan, right? They came from another organization. Is that still correct? Is that how that works?
So
share that one. That might be an opportunity for out there for somebody that would love to be involved in such a great organization for a year. Was it a year commitment,
we call them our loaned executives as well too. So it's having that leadership come from another organization or a company and help support our fundraising campaigns, help with our volunteer opportunities as well too. And it's been a great program. Obviously, it's declined quite a bit with the businesses struggling to find staff right now, so we totally understand and respect that. We're still able to move forward with a lot of our programs that we're doing as well. So, you know, you mentioned Day of Caring. The next one that actually is coming up in May is called Operation United, where we're actually going to be working to help support Operation United. It's helping our veterans with home improvements. So we have a lot of people that get nominated because, you know, if they are struggling or if they're not able to keep up with their houses, we're able to work with so many different organizations. Home Depot has stepped up to the plate, and they're actually helping support 5 different veterans houses. We've got Fifth Third at the plate. We've got quite a few different organizations coming together to make a difference there as well, which is great.
And how do you get into that? Like if you were a veteran like watching this, or somebody that would like to support what you're doing there, I mean, what is, you know, are these veterans on a list of like, you know what I'm saying?
They get nominated. So it's somebody who's anybody in the community can nominate and say, hey, this is somebody I think we would want to help and step up. So that's how we get the names. We've got 22 already selected, and that's what we're able to help support this year. And then next year we're going to bring on and probably get another 20 as well. So we're excited. So it's a fun thing to see, and giving back to those who have given so much for all of us. It's just a beautiful thing that we love being a part of.
Do you guys still have 211?
211 is a huge piece of what we do, absolutely.
I mean, I used to say instead of 911, you can call 211, and you were the resource to all other programs that could help you. And I remember we used to give that number out all the time. Well, you might want to call 211 and see how United Way can plug you in.
You've got it.
So what is that?
Yeah.
Share that.
So obviously during these last couple of years, they have been flooded with calls. We actually were the COVID hotline for the entire state of Michigan. So every call across the entire state came here to Grand Rapids and actually came through our team. So we had to bring on temporary staff. Our CEO was answering phone calls for a while. It was just one of those things where we all had to step up to make sure that we were able to support. But 211 is that resource. They're there. They're there to make sure that our community knows where they can get help. Where if they need to understand where the food banks are, if they need help with clothing, if they, you know, if anybody gets into their crisis situation and they need support, 211 is there. It's as simple as remember 911, it's 211.
211, and we gave that out all the time, but I wasn't sure. And what was really nice is that we actually would call sometimes because we wanted to know a resource. I'm like, okay, where can we get, you know, somebody that, like a senior. I dealt with a lot with the senior community, you know, somebody that might need the meds, or you know, they need a walker. They get, you know, you guys always came through trying to help a ramp.
For a lot of the nonprofits, people come through their door and they have those questions, and we field those questions all the time from organizations like, could you help this person? Could you help give them guidance? And that's exactly what 211 is for. And it's been so cool to see that in action, and they are tremendously busy, as you can imagine, because our needs are obviously very, very much a challenge in our community right now, but they're stepping up to make sure people know where they can get the help they need.
Well, West Michigan is just a fabulous place, you know that. I mean, we have everybody that's visited us, you know, besides the weather, which we're suffering, it's March 31st and it was sleet, which we're not happy about. I would say that most people that visit here are like, you guys are a very unique area.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe that. And it's probably, I think it's got to do with a lot of the nonprofits that are in our community, a lot of giving. It's very family oriented.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of faith-based organizations, you know, and people. So share a little bit, if I was a company's president, leadership, I mean, what are they, when you go to them, or does somebody recommend, you know what, we should bring United Way in for a presentation? Share a little bit. Is that your role too?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we try to make that a part of all of our roles at the United Way. But yes, we want to make sure that understanding what's happening in the community as well too, because sometimes we get in our own areas and we don't truly see the full scope. But we talk quite a bit about an acronym we use called ALICE, which is basically stating asset limited, income constrained, but these people are employed. So these are people who have challenges. You know, obviously they've got income coming in because they're working. They don't have a whole lot of resources to pull from as well too to make ends meet. So they're in a situation where if a car breaks down, if they have a medical emergency where they're going to have a higher medical bill than expected, they're going to go upside down pretty quickly. They're not going to be able to make ends meet. And
anything
really
will topple.
Exactly.
Right.
And right now what we're seeing, that's in West Michigan,
living on the edge.
Kent County, it's about 40% of our community is in that space.
I would say there's a lot of people living on the edge, and I think when we went through COVID, really people didn't, we didn't know how to react towards that. You have to understand. You were being part of the YMCA at that time. And I think a lot of people just didn't prepare for what this big price increase, gas increase, food increases, but they were telling us it's coming. Well, of course, you know, we're deer in the headlights. I'm like, really? And then it really did come to reality.
Truly is a different world than where we were 2 years ago. That's a major challenge, and that's the one thing that we want to help. In the organizations, we totally respect the businesses that are struggling right now. We understand that they may not be able to support the way they have in the past. There are other organizations that are stepping up and doing more because they are having success, and helping them really understand where they can step up to the plate and make a difference. So it's been a beautiful thing to see. We've truly seen some great movement in a lot of respects, but we know overall we're definitely still struggling in that space. We're not out of the woods. We're a long ways from it.
Well, and with everything, with all the new nonprofits or whatever, you know, United Way will always have a role. It will always be probably, you know, at the top of giving. But share, like a lot of people that might have organizations are like, you know, well, my staff can't afford to even give to, they're wrong, right? Because I will tell you, when I was at one of the leadership of the nonprofit, we would do the stats, whatever, or demographics or whatever of our staff, and it was the lower to income staff that gave the most. And why is that? You probably noticed that too.
You know, that's a beautiful thing that you mentioned as well too, because there's nobody who can say that they can't help support one way or another. So from a financial standpoint, looking at, you know, a cup of coffee, looking at, you know, can I afford to have one less of those per week, right?
Yeah, of course.
Simple things like that can be a perspective. But also, it's not always a financial piece. It's volunteering of your time, because there are so many different ways you can help other nonprofits. We try to put on our website volunteer opportunities for all of the nonprofits. So it's not something where you can just volunteer at a United Way event. You can volunteer at any other event. We also try to focus on education as well too. So understanding what 211 is, understanding other resources in the community, understanding the ALICE population and the challenges that they're in right now as well too. So we really do try to spend some time in that space as we're talking to these organizations, so they can see the full scope. The financial piece is very impactful, and it's very necessary for us to see.
You can't give.
Exactly.
You can't help people without
we can't serve our mission without the money, right?
Right. That was the blood of any organization that gives back to the community. People don't realize, you know what, you can't help anybody. You know, if we need you to get stable yourself to give. But as we in a faith-based area, I will say, you know, giving even a little bit almost I don't know, what does it do for you? It
No,
gives you
it
such
truly
a weird
does.
feeling,
It truly
doesn't
does. You know, when we really say, we kind of put dollar amounts towards, like, if you give $1 a week, this much will help
Right.
support, you know, food in the community. If you give $5, this is how much you'll help support as well. So we really want to kind of put that type of perspective to people, so they do
Sure.
have that understanding. And it does feel impactful, because it is. I mean, and that's the way we try to message it as well too. An impactful gift from somebody who is a millionaire versus somebody an impactful gift to somebody who makes $10,000 to $20,000 a year. They're impactful gifts because they mean so much coming from that individual, and we want to make sure that they are appreciated for all of that, because they are making a difference by that. So,
Right.
and like I said, we're in a beautiful community that
Yeah,
does
we
give
are, we
back,
are.
and that's a great thing.
And I think that's why we have a great community. It's because of all the wonderful nonprofits in our thing. And if there's something goes wrong, there's always somebody out there. You know, I'm just going to start a nonprofit
Yeah.
to
Yep.
figure this out, because problems arise
Yep.
as we evolve and things happen, and we go through these situations. All right, so let's talk about some. You mentioned that what's going up in May, but what else is going on? What's your
Yeah.
forecast?
Yep. So
coming
we've
up?
got, as the summer months come, we know school gets out and the kids are at home a lot more and around the neighborhood. One thing that we are focusing in is making sure that the food banks in our communities are stocked as well. So we got a program coming up called Summer Stock Up.
Okay.
We actually go to the food banks, and we do collection drives at all of these, so that we can actually make sure that they're fully stocked, so that when
For what, next in the fall? or-
no, actually during the summer months, because during the school year, those kids are getting meals from their schools, you know, if they're at free and reduced meals. During the summer months, it's a little bit different. They don't have the accessibility to always come to the schools where they have the meals provided. So we try to make sure that our food banks are stocked, because that's when they are at their most challenged. That's when their shelves are empty a little bit more. So we're trying to stock those shelves back up during those months as well too, and make sure that everybody has the food and the nutrition they need during those summer months.
Are we going to see? I mean, we're going to see a lot on social media about this, or we're able to. How are you guys getting that message out? Because you know, what would it take? You know, today to just add a little bit to your little, you know, peanut butter, whatever. You're not non-perishables,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, canned goods to your list to drop off. You have drop sites.
Yep,
or?
they'll be coming up in June, and you'll get plenty of messaging out on that one. Social media, you'll see. You can always go to Heart of West Michigan United Way. It's hwmuw.org. I know it's a little bit long, but we try to keep it simple. But if you ever search United Way and you're here in this community, you can always find us. We're right at the top here when you do it right here from Grand Rapids or in the West Michigan. But yeah, absolutely. Like, you'll start seeing a lot more of that coming up, because June is the event. We're not doing the drives quite yet. We're going to get there pretty soon, and then you'll actually see a lot of that coming.
Now you going to connect with your current ones, or are you looking for more businesses to even?
Yep.
Is there a size that they have to be, or
Yeah,
what's the criteria there?
You know, we have our team follow up with all of the food banks in the community and just really understand and assess what their needs are. Similar to what we did with Bring the Basics, we want to know how many items are you looking for, and then we can really help get the communication out and push that out to the community, so they understand. Here's, you know, we need 15,000 items. We need, you know, we need canned food. We need, meats. We need cheeses. We need all of these certain things to help people get a good nutritious meal every year. So they will be ready to go, and we'll be ready to help support.
All right, and then you have your Day of Caring, right? You're going
Day
to
of
be planning
Caring.
that, you know, so that would be so that things, in May, it is the veterans, what's that
In
called?
May is Operation United. You got June, you're going to have the stuff that, Summer Stock Up.
Summer
And then
stock
towards
up?
the end of the summer, we actually do something called Stuff the Bus. School supplies for kids before they go to
wow.
school.
Okay.
So, yep. Once again, we basically take the drives that we've been doing and try to continue to magnify them and get the word out. So it's an exciting piece. We want to make sure the kids have the right pens, pencils, paper, everything they need for a successful school year. And we know that our schools are always challenged with supplies, and if we can help them get into a better spot, it's another big focus for us.
Well, besides the public helping on these events, does the United Way still, organizations that you give money to, are they still putting the logo seal on? How do they know who you're giving to? It may be because this is the cool thing about giving to the United Way. You can decide, I'm going to give this amount of money, but I would like it allocated. Can we still do that? Like
Oh,
we did?
absolutely.
To a certain, maybe your favorite nonprofit.
Absolutely.
Maybe, like I said, Maybe it's a meal or a habitat or
Yep.
whatever that you want to, an animal shelter. I'm not sure if you do animals,
Yep.
but I think,
Honestly, it's as simple as whatever nonprofit, as long as they're a 401c3 nonprofit organization, we can designate towards any of them. We have some that want to designate towards organizations that are across the country, and we make sure those dollars are going there. So if they live in this area but want to give towards their home and where they live in California, you can donate towards that one as well too through a designation. Absolutely. So it's right on our form. It's right on our website. If you make a donation and I want to designate towards Habitat for Humanity, we will make sure those dollars go towards that organization.
All right, so we're going to be finishing up this interview. We are so excited that you're here. Is there anything that I have left out about United Way that you'd like to share? Because you go right in front of that camera.
Absolutely. No, we've got a lot of great things happening at United Way. There's so many different ways to get involved. You can volunteer, you can start a workplace campaign, you can give it as an individual as well too. So there's so many different ways, because we know everybody in the community at one time or another is going to struggle. And we want to be there to help be that safety net and help be that support. And we're trying to lead to make sure that all of our community is in a good spot to have a successful and well-rounded life.
Well, we want to thank Kevin Myers from United Way, which we're so thankful that he's here. He will keep us updated on what's going on there. But we want to give you a shake here. Thank you so much. Check out United Way at, say the word.
HWMUW.org.
So it's United Way, Heart of Michigan.
Heart of West Michigan.
That shows that it's Michigan. That's in our. And get with your employer if you want to just give $1 a week or a month or what. The best thing is to start out and eventually see all the wonderful things that United Way does, and then I'm sure your heart will open up and be able to give a little bit more. Wouldn't you agree?
Thank you so much. I wholeheartedly agree.
We want to thank Kevin Myers from United Way, the Heart of Michigan, for being here today, sharing the mission of United Way. And please go to their website, and he's going to tell us right now what that is once again.
Yep, it's HMUW.org.
Yep, check out what they're doing. They have some great campaigns coming up. Go to your employer if you just want to give just a little amount, maybe even a couple dollars a month. It will go a long way. So, and I also want to thank, real quickly, Chris Hontoon, First Microgreenery. He is my engineer and he's behind the scenes. So check out First Microgreenery and learn all about that. So thank you so much, Kevin Myers, for being here. This is Pamela Keim from Grand Tap Media Business TV, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and not necessarily those of WKTV Community Media.